What's going on, everybody? It's another episode of Nobe Vlog. Today's gonna be a short episode, man. I kind of want to get into something that's been on my mind. It's actually something that a cousin of mine asked me about, and he asked me, which was an appropriate question for the time. But the thing he asked me was, it took me 10 years just to get to this spot. Actually, I'll be making 10 years in November of this year that I've been pursuing this passion of mine, this craft, being in music production. And, he asked me, like, do I have any, regrets? And honestly, I in retrospect, no. Now, there was some things that I did go through that I would have liked not to have gone through, but it's not a regret because it made me who I am. And I feel like as you climb that ladder to success, whatever that may be for you, whether it's being an architect, engineer, graphic designer, music producer, whatever, there's going to be hard times as part of the journey. And one thing I can definitely say, looking back at those bad times, it's kind of like that quote where it says, when things are falling apart, they're not really falling apart, they're falling into place. And I know I messed up the quote, but if you kind of get that part that I just said, that's really what it was, because I've lost friends, I've gone through relationships, I've had my bank account in the red more times than I can count. I've been behind on rent 2 months before. Matter of fact, there was at one point, and maybe someday I'll talk about this, that whole era where it seemed like things were just going completely upside down. There was one point in my life where I was so broke that when I was going to my job Wednesday morning and when I drove back home Wednesday night, my gas light came on, meaning I didn't have any gas. I had to call out of work Thursday to wait to get paid Friday to put gas in my car to go back into work, and I had to pick up extra shift the next week to make up for that day I called out. And so, I've been through it, and we've all been through it and everything else. But the thing that did for me was that it made me a tougher person. It definitely built up my character. Would there be some things I would do differently? Yeah, of course. But at the same time, I wouldn't be able to, connect with people on that level who are going through it. So, there was one time I spoke at a high school, LSIT back in Houston, and they were like, what was it like getting to that point where you were a full-time music producer? And I had to be real with them. I was like, it wasn't all roses and sunshine. It was some hard times. I had to skip a meal or two because I had to either pay for a plane ticket to go here to go sell a beat or book studio session, or even pay for equipment. And so, to answer that person's question and to speak on, some things to kind of give you some perspective of my journey. No, I don't have any regrets in retrospect. And I tell you that for whatever you're going through, there's going to be times where you're just like, bruh, I don't know if I can do this. But I can tell you, even as someone who's still trying to get there, man, it's going to be worth it in the end, as long as you stick with it. I think the only regret you'll have is if you quit, honestly. But that's just my 2 cents from where I am as I climb this mountain. So, HansNobe.com, Facebook.com/Mr. Hans Nobe, SoundCloud.com/Hans Nobe. Holla at your boy.